Welcome to No Strings Attached Street Ministries. Today I'm going to have a little frank talk with you. For the last week I've been praying about the mass shooting in Florida. And yes, this is getting ridiculous. So many of our young kids are targeted. And frankly, all of us adults, we're the ones to blame. We caused it. Not the one that shot him. We did it. We caused it. Through my prayers, I asked the Lord when I got injured 20 years ago. I didn't think I had anything left to give this world. And through many, many hours of prayer, He instilled in me and showed me that I had very precious gifts left. And if I used them correctly and used them wisely, that I could change the world, even if it was one at a time. So I asked Him to identify these gifts. And those gifts was, number one, was I have a heart full of love. I love mankind. I love humanity. I don't care if you're black, white, green, purple, 500 pounds, 10 pounds, baby, adult, women. I don't care who you are. You fit into my agenda. And this old man does love you from the bottom of my heart. Even the ones that rebel. Because when you rebel me, that's when I love you even more. So the second gift that He given me was that I have a lot of deep, deep wisdom. So you got to understand who I am. I'm a problem solver. I'm what you would call a fixer. When I get challenged with a problem, I use all my knowledge. And I literally bust so hard in my thoughts and my trials until I come up with a solution to that problem. I am one that will not give up. But then again, when you have that wisdom and you're trying to solve a problem, unfortunately the world and the universe itself always has rules that you have to follow to achieve your goal. So then I have to take in consideration what options that I have available to me to be able to create a solution for the problem. And then come up with a creative idea on how to do so. I got angry watching television. I don't watch television at all, but I am home right now, so. And then you see the, where CNN had their so-called City Hall. What a bunch of crap. But anyway, all it is uneducated people with a mindset of their own agendas that's trying to solve a problem their way. And the only way they can do that is to take someone else's rights away. That goes along with the liberal side that wants to take everyone's guns away. And also, in a way, it also takes away, it's from the other side that wants to keep the guns and to control the people. So what's our solution? Well, the only solution that we have, and the words that I had heard many, many times throughout my prayers, is to build a wall. This is one reason why I know for a fact that President Trump, although he's done things that I'm not proud of or happy with, but I still have to believe in my Lord and Savior and His guidance. And you got to realize every president that we've had has been in there with God's blessing. Now, if they've used that wrongly, that's on them. But there always has the guidance of God behind them. I seen this man come into office, and he come in and had the same words that I had. So I'm sure he got the same prayer got the same answer as I had, and that was build a wall. Now, I'm not going to get into politics, but the solutions are building a wall. You can come with all these different, ideologies of how they fight amongst each other, of is the wall good or bad. I'm not here to debate that, but I'm telling you, a wall is the only way sometimes to keep the evil out. And you have to be able to withstand the wall for a time to be able to regain the freedoms that you have. Well, the solution to our school problems is actually when you have no other options that are viable or even logical. The things that you need to do is to fight fire with fire. So, the way that you can protect our young kids is harden the schools. Build a 10-foot wall all the way around the premise of the school. Even covered in razor wire if it has to be. Have armed security guards and armed police officers at the school. Arm some of the teachers and the staff, to be able to be specially trained to protect our children. And all of it together will make it a safe environment for our children to be able to go to school and be happy. The biggest thing with our schools, though, that we also have to change is the liberal agenda that's attacked our children ever since the 1960s. When we've gotten this agenda in our schools, they've attacked and brainwashed our young ones to where they turn them into kids that don't even know how to think for themselves. You have to take and understand that kids are going to be kids. Girls are going to be girls. They're going to be softer. They're going to be quieter. They're going to behave. They're going to strive for straight A's, and they're going to do things. But that's how a woman is built. A woman is built with flowers and butterflies. So that's how they think. A boy, on the other hand, is built with grime and worms and sludge and just gross things. But that's what makes them boys. That's what interests them. That's what makes them tough. They like to scrap. They like to wrestle. They like to do things that boys do. They like to climb trees, even if they're going to fall out of it and kill themselves. They're going to do it. That's just the way boys are. They're loud, obnoxious. And most of our teachers are worn out, not paid very well. We've got teachers in there that are there just for the job, about the money, instead of being a called profession. Same as we have in our churches. We have pastors and preachers that are in our churches because of the money, the career. Guys, these are two areas that are called in ministry. And that's why I say these jobs have to be filled with very special people. The other Christian teachers that are in there are tied, they're bound, they're gagged by the school system and threatened of their own jobs to not, to go along with the system instead of standing up for what they believe is right. We've allowed one voice throughout this world to literally rip God and the Bible right out of our schools. When you do that, you take the morals away. So with all these battles that these teachers are facing on a day-to-day basis, they're tired. And you know what? Unknowingly, unwillingly, they've fallen to the trap of the liberal agenda. They've what they've done to our kids is they've changed them so much. They've confused them so much. Boys don't know how to be boys, and girls don't even know how to be girls. My God, they're even allowing them to identify for whatever they are. You are what you are. You are who you are. Believe it, trust it. I don't care. There's many, physical deformations I can understand that people have, that want to think that they are or they aren't. But you know what? Take a DNA test. DNA test will tell you exactly what you are. Once you find out what you are, then embrace it. Be who you and become who you are meant to be. It's not always about the sex organ. And I get that. I understand that there's girls that tend to want to be with the boy, the mentality of the boys. I get it. I understand it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they're still a girl. And they have to know that. And they have to understand that. The same as boys. It's okay for a boy to be a little feminine. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what builds compassion. That's what builds, love for others, is a little bit of compassion. But that's just them. That's not classifying all boys have to be that way. But some are. That's okay too. Don't worry about it. There's a place in the world for each and every one of us. And we have to understand that. And we have to trust in that. The biggest thing is we can't condemn each other for who we think we are. Or who we think that we should be. We need to learn to love each other, to accept each other, and to be willing to embrace the true meaning of compassion and friendship and bondage, between all of us together as Americans. I guess I get frustrated when I look online and I see how people from other countries are even bashing America and worrying about who our president is. They've all got opinions and all this stuff. Well, you know what? Frankly, it's none of your damn business. Just the way it is. It's not your country. Keep your nose out of it. Stay quiet. And the biggest reason is, I'll tell you the truth, the reason that you're speaking up is because you're speaking up that way because you're afraid if you speak up wrongly against your own government's way of view, then you know good and well that one time during the night they're going to come and have a chat with you. And they'll change you. They'll put you away where no one knows who you are. And you know that as well. That's why you're doing it. You're feeding the fire. Quit it. This is our world. This is our time. This is our nation. This is our problem. Same as yours. Work on yours. Try to get freedom back in your nations and your rights. Because the only defense the American people has ever had is that there has been known, and any government knows they cannot infiltrate America, is because they know for sure that there's a gun going to be pointed out at every window in America, and any army cannot stand against that. Too many of us. But that's why America's been strong. That's why America's been who they are. And then you learn to take pride in who you are and what you are. And that's why I'm saying, I don't care what you are, women, men. If the only ones that probably can even understand where I'm coming from is probably the veterans or the military. I guess they truly understand, the reason and the fight that they're actually in. So I think that they can sort of grasp that mentality. But our biggest thing that we need to do with our schools is we need to build those walls. We need to harden those schools to where those kids are safe. You know good and well, and I know good and well, any military guy that's out there that's been a veteran, they love their country so much, they would probably volunteer their own services for that. So that's what I say is, that's what we need to do, is to allow them to do just that if that's what it takes. Once we remove this evil and take his foothold, then we can start correcting the real problem. And it took years and years and years to get this position, to get this way. And it's going to take years and years to get it back. It's not a solution overnight. The way they've done it is they've slowly broken us down over generations. And that's the problem. Is because we don't even see it coming. just like Lee Harvey, Lee Harvey, I think it was, the comedian guy on the radio. You remember him back in the day? He come up with a, if I was a devil, how would I take over, the world? Watch that. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, he nailed it. And he nailed it back in whenever it was. What was it, the 40s or something? But he described it to a T. And if you relate what he said to what's happening in today's world, man, you couldn't have gotten that. That's prophecy, is what I call it. That is nothing but prophecy. And we need to stop and realize just what's happening. All this stuff happens out here has been revealed to us. Even, who was it, President Reagan even told us the same prophecies in some of his speeches, about what it would be. He says, American people will not fall because of a war. They won't do it. We'll freely give up our freedoms. Freely. And you know what? That's true. And that's exactly what will happen. So, guys, it's going to take each and every one of us to humble ourselves and get back to basically get on our knees and ask God how we're supposed to do this. And take our own personal agendas out of the equation. And come up with solutions and come up with ways of retraining our kids, retraining, our communities on how to defend ourselves and how to protect ourselves. We need to quit relying on the media to fill us full of crap every day. Turn the TVs off. You need to quit letting consumerism and corporations control us. Lord, they've even taken our Christmas and our holidays and turned them into a fiasco. Look what's going on. And then they have enough balls to get on social medias and say, well, I'm the president of so-and-so, Starbucks, or whatever you want to call them, and say, I feel this is this way, and it should be this way. And 90% of the people, they just follow anybody and everybody with their nose stuck right up their hind end. Learn to stand on your own ground. Learn to stand on your own merits. Quit listening to the crap that people throw down at you. They have no more power than your say. Your voice is just as important and just as valuable as the president of Starbucks or the president of Hobby Lobby. So there, I got one of each one of them. So, I'm not going to agree with either one. What I'm saying is we need to learn to stand up and agree and hold hands together and stand up as a nation and join each other as a nation and come up with a solution. We need to put our trust back in God and let God control this land. And as long as we can do that, that's always been our success. The minute we start taking that away from who we are, we're all going to fall. And you know what? It don't make no difference to me, because the time I get old enough and I really start feeling the effects, I'll be dead and gone anyway. But our generations past, my kids, their kids, they're the ones, generations, that's going to have to fight these battles and have to live with the imprisonment that the world has convinced them they need. Quit being a consumer. I suggest everyone should break down and become a minimalist. And the reason I say that is because it's retraining the brain. It's teaching you what it's really about. It's not about stuff in the world. It's not. I was in that trap. I was the guy that with the most toys wins. Yay, that's me. But today's day, and over a lot of brokenness, it took me to realize that, you know what, the most important thing to me in my life is my relationships with others. Even my relationship and my compassion for my homeless brother this morning, sitting right out here at Cracker Barrel. When I took him in there and I told him to feed him, and I paid his bill for him. He walks up to the prayer van with a backpack, And he says, "Sir, I'm very hungry." I says, "Well, come on, brother, let's go get something to eat." And I haven't even ate yet because I'm waiting for another friend of mine to come, from a YouTube friend of mine, to show up to be able to actually meet them. And I haven't seen them or met them. I followed her for, what, 5-6 years. And they're actually coming to Florida, and we're supposed to meet up today. So God bless you guys. All I can say to you is one thing is learn to stand on your own grounds and your own. But instead of listening to something just to have a response, listen to learn and understand. At least you'll get both sides truly inside your heart. And then you can make a wise decision on your decisions. Because your decision does not just affect you, it affects everybody. You might not think so, but it does. So, well, I guess that's about all I got to say about it. But anyway, pray, because you know what? I'm out here in the world. I'm out here in the real world. I'm out here on the streets. I'm out here dealing with the nonsense that people don't see. Those are the ones in the nonsense that swept underneath the rug all the time. So I see the real problems in this world. I see how the drugs has taken over in here. I see these kids. Lord, just last week, I had a lady die right at my feet, pretty much, because of drugs. Come on. Even a strong man like me, that hit me hard, and it hit me home. And it took me almost a week just to recoup over that. That was a lot of processing I had to process out of my head. And then right after I got that out, devil smacks me again with this Florida, mass shooting. So I know I have to come up with a solution some way, somehow. But you know what? So do we all. So if you have any comments, leave them down below. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them that's going to have their nasty little one-sided comments. I'm not here to look at your or read your stupidity in your comments. If you've got a good, genuine debate solution that you can truly pull from both sides of the coin, I encourage you to do so. And let's get some conversation going to where, yes, maybe we can come up with the proper solution to be able to change this world. But this is from American to American. We need to fix our problems. So that's the way I feel. God bless you all. Have a great day.